People think genius is a blessing because they only see the surface rewards, but nobody talks about what happens when your mind never shuts up. And the real curse of intelligence begins when you realize that thinking doesn't stop when the problem ends. It follows you into silence, into sleep, into moments where you're supposed to relax, but your brain refuses to let go. Because a true genius doesn't just think better than others, he thinks more than he wants to. And that excess thinking slowly turns into distance from people, from emotions, from simple joy. Because when your mind works faster than the world around you, everything starts to feel delayed. Conversations feel predictable. Reactions feel rehearsed. Emotions feel like patterns you already mapped long before they appeared. And at first this feels like power. You feel ahead. You feel in control. You feel different. But slowly that difference turns into isolation because you stop being surprised by people. And when you're no longer surprised, you stop being entertained. And when you stop being entertained, you start feeling detached. And that detachment grows quietly because you still smile, you still nod, you still talk, but internally, you're already 5 steps ahead, calculating outcomes, reading intentions, noticing inconsistencies, seeing lies forming before they're spoken. And this is where the pain deepens, because intelligence doesn't just show you what people say, it shows you why they say it. And once you understand why people do what they do, relationships stop feeling pure, because you realize how conditional loyalty is, how fragile morals are, how often love depends on convenience, timing, and benefit. And this awareness doesn't make you evil, it makes you careful. But being careful in a world that runs on emotion makes you look cold, so you learn to hide what you see. You learn to hold back your thoughts. You learn to simplify your words. Because every time you speak truth, you notice how uncomfortable people get, how defensive they become, how quickly connection turns into resistance. So you sow the right answer, and this responsibility becomes another curse. Because when you see a better move, a smarter solution, a safer path, you feel compelled to act, even when no one asked you to, even when it's not your role. And if you don't intervene, you carry guilt. And if you do intervene and get ignored, you carry frustration. Either way, peace is lost, and this becomes especially painful when you watch people repeat mistakes you already predicted. You warn them, they dismiss you, and later when everything collapses, they ask, "How did you know?" And that question doesn't feel rewarding. It feels draining because being right doesn't heal loneliness. It deepens it, and over time you learn another brutal truth. Intelligence does not guarantee happiness, success, or recognition, because the world does not reward depth, it rewards visibility. It does not reward truth, it rewards confidence. It does not reward understanding, it rewards certainty. So the genius either learns to perform for the world or disappears into silence. And many choose silence because they understand timing. They understand that speaking too early costs energy, and speaking too late changes nothing. So they observe, they wait, they become quiet, not because they lack power, but because they understand leverage. And this silence then gets labeled as arrogance, antisocial behavior, or emotional coldness, when the reality is the opposite. They feel too much, not too little. They process disappointment faster. They sense betrayal earlier. They detect collapse before cracks are visible. And this emotional forecasting is exhausting because you're constantly living in future pain. And when this continues for years, the mind hardens not out of cruelty, but out of survival. And this is why genius often looks like sadness from the outside, but inside it's not sadness, it's unrest, the inability to rest, the inability to unsee reality. Once illusions are stripped away because true intelligence removes filters, and most humans need filters to function. Hope, optimism, denial. These are psychological protections,